Okay, I think we can start now. So good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining this informative session of the CaixaResearch Health Call 2024. Let me start by first introducing my colleagues, Carla Carbonell, who will be in charge of the second part of this presentation, and Mónica Zamora, who will manage the questions at the end of the session, and myself, Inés Bouzón. I will be presenting you the first slides of this presentation. So these are some practical instructions for this informative session. First things first, this session will be conducted in English because we have many people from different countries. And also something important is that we ask you to switch off your microphone and camera while we are presenting. And then afterwards, when we finish the presentation, there will be a live Q&A session. So in this session, to ask a question, you should raise your hand. You will find this raise hand icon in the bottom menu of the Zoom screen. There you will see a reactions button. So you should click on the reactions button, and then you will see the raise hand icon. So you click on the raise hand button, yes. And in this moment, you will be given the floor by Mónica. So you can connect your microphone and camera and ask your question. Please pay attention to the presentation and also to the other questions to avoid any repetitions. And if you have any technical issues, then use the chat, write them on the chat. At the end of the session, you can also send your questions if they've remained unanswered to this email address that is written here, healthresearch@contact.fundacionlacaixa.org. And this is all that you have to take into account for this session. This is just a quick reminder that you have a lot of helpful information in our website, which is written here. You have some documents, especially the rules for participation, which we recommend you to check properly. Then you also have a section in the webpage with frequently asked questions that may be really helpful. And you also have our contact email that I have mentioned in the previous slide, and also video tutorial with a step-by-step of the submission of the proposals, which is also really useful. We have divided this session into two sections. First, I will introduce general and more conceptual frequently asked questions that we gathered from previous editions. And next, Carla will explain certain aspects of the online system that you need to use to submit your proposals. So let's start with the first part. As you know, the call is now open for submission, and it will remain open until November 16th at 2 p.m. CET. And here you can see the timeline of the evaluation. Once a proposal is submitted, it will go through an eligibility phase that I will explain more in depth in a few slides. Then it will go to a remote evaluation, and the pre-selected proposals will reach the selection committee evaluation, which are some face-to-face interviews that will take place in Barcelona this year on 23rd and 24th May. In order to start a proposal as project leader, as PL, you must comply these three pre-eligibility criteria that are written here. First, you need that your remote evaluations from last year's proposals as project leader and as principal investigator, PI, they should have been scored with at least a 5.5. And if you submitted more than one proposal as PI, then all remote evaluations must be at least 5.5 in order to submit a new proposal this year. Then granted PLs from the previous three editions of the call cannot submit a proposal as project leader this year. They can do it as principal investigators, as PIs. As this is the 7th edition of the call, granted PLs from the first, second, and third edition can apply now as project leaders, even if they had asked for an extension of the project. And the third criteria that you need to meet to submit an application as project leader is that you should belong to a host organization based in Spain or Portugal. Partners can be from any other country. Frequently asked question is if there is a limitation of proposals to be submitted. There are no limitations of number of proposals per organization. but each researcher can only submit one proposal as project leader. They can apply as principal investigators or team members in other proposals without limitation, but as project leader, they can only submit one proposal. These are the 5 thematic areas of the call that you may know: neurosciences, oncology, infectious diseases, cardiovascular and associated metabolic diseases, and enabling technologies. Please note that the enabling technologies thematic area definition has changed this year. So I'd recommend you to read carefully this part of the rules for participation to be sure that your proposal fits in this thematic area. So enabling technologies proposals are focused on the creation and development of health facilitating technologies to address topics of the other 4 thematic areas. But proposals should be focused on the creation of new technologies. So proposals that are not focused on this, but that use already established enabling technologies, they are not considered to be part of this thematic area and should be addressed to any of the other 4. And as a novelty in this call, in this edition, any proposal that is not properly allocated in the enabling technologies thematic area may be discarded at any stage of the selection process. So as I've said before, I'd recommend you to check carefully the definition of the enabling technologies and to be careful when addressing your proposal to this area or to one of the other 4. Regarding the budget per thematic area, we try to distribute equitably the total budget of the call among the 5 thematic areas. These are the type of projects that can be submitted to the call. We have individual projects that are submitted by one single research organization, and they can get up to €500,000. And then we have projects in consortium, which are submitted by 2 to 5 research performing organizations, and then that can get up to €1 million. And in both types of projects, the civil society organizations, CSOs, can be included. So there is no predefined budget distribution among project types. This budget distribution is exclusively dependent on the ranking in the selection committee, on the score of the projects. And regarding the team conformation, each proposal should have only one PI per organization. In the case of the host organization, the PI will be the PL, the project leader. Other researchers from the same organization can be included in the proposal, but as team members. They cannot act as principal investigators. Team members from other organizations are not allowed. This means that in individual proposals, all team members should be from the same host organization. In the case of CSOs should perform non-research activities in the project, so dissemination, patient engagement, or they can provide samples, but it should be non-research activities. And their budget is optional, whereas partners have a scientific role and their budget is mandatory. For-profit entities are not allowed to participate as partners, but their activities can be subcontracted by any of the partners included in the proposal. This call is not entitled for proposals with a clear benefit for-profit organizations. This is why they can only be subcontracted. Therefore, if the results of a proposal are subject to rights held by for-profit organizations before the submission, they are not eligible. So keep this in mind. Regarding the budget, here you can find the different concepts in the budget. We have direct costs, indirect costs or overheads, and subcontracting. In the case of indirect costs, keep in mind that these are up to 10% of the direct costs, so not considering the subcontracting part. And for consortium proposals with international partners, international meaning out of Spain and Portugal, the total amount of budget that can be distributed outside Spain or Portugal is up to 30% of the whole budget. On the other hand, there is no limit in the different concepts or distribution among partners. Okay, you just need to meet this criteria that not more than 30% of the budget goes out Spain or Portugal. But always consider that the budget is one of the evaluation items for your proposal. In the case of direct cost, we usually get some questions related to the personal expenses. Personal expenses may include new contracts, but also salary complements or contracts already paid by the organization. Now, the keywords, which are a very important part of the remote evaluation of your proposal. So we recommend you to select them carefully. The PL should select the keywords when he is or she is submitting the application. And these keywords come from the NIH mesh tree. So this tree has this tree structure and different branches at different levels. So one keyword can be classified in more than one branch. And this is important, and let me explain it with this example of the brain neoplast. So imagine that you as PL want to choose as keyword brain neoplasm. So you can find this keyword in two different branches of the tree, in the C10 branch, but also in the C04 branch. By selecting brain neoplasms, this and all the keywords in the upper levels will be considered to assign the pre-reviewers. So if you select brain neoplasm in the CO4 branch, then the word neoplasm, which is in the upper level, will be considered. If you choose brain neoplasm from the C10 branch, then the nervous system diseases, which is in the upper level, will be considered to assign your peer reviewers. So if you select the keyword from the C10 branch, then your project is more prone to be evaluated by a neuroscience expert. But if you choose the same keyword in the CO4 branch, then this will lead to an expert in the oncology field. So for that reason, we recommend you to select the keywords at the lowest level possible, because keywords above will be considered in the process of selecting the reviewers, and select the keywords that come from the branch that best fits your proposal. You should select main keywords and other important keywords. Main keywords should describe the core of your proposal and will have a higher impact in the selection of the reviewers. Other important keywords should highlight aspects that are not described with the main keywords and which can result in important expertise for the revision of the proposal. Also take into consideration that due to the availability of the remote experts and their own keywords, which are updated, our pool of experts differs from each edition. And this means that a resubmitted proposal will not necessarily have the same remote evaluation than in previous editions. For the selection committee, we do not use keywords, but only the thematic area. Only the thematic area is considered to distribute proposals among the 5 different panels of the 5 different thematic areas. So please carefully check the selection of the keywords and the thematic areas. And finally, the eligibility process. Once you submit your proposal, it is subjected to an eligibility process that consists on 2 phases. The format eligibility, in which the proposal is checked to be sure that it meets the criteria explained in the rules of participation of the call, and then the content eligibility. This phase is explained more in detail in the eligibility and evaluation guidelines that you can find in our website. So if you have any doubt, you can go there and check it. But it basically comprises 2 steps. One, mediated by an artificial intelligence tool that detects proposals with a very low probability of being selected by analyzing text fields, but without including in any personal information. And if the artificial intelligence tool flags a proposal, then it is reviewed by 2 experts, 2 human experts, who will confirm if the application is finally dismissed or not. Importantly, the PL and PIs of the proposals dismissed in the eligibility process will be able to submit new proposals in future editions of the call. They are not blocked as if they get less than 5.5 in the remote evaluation phase. And this is all on my side. So Carla, please go ahead.
Thank you, Ines. So let's go checking some important details on the online platform and the application. Okay, first of all, make sure when you're applying to our calls that the platform is in English. It's better for all the validation processes. And again, you can see on the online system when you enter the platform that there's a general contact email. Please use our specific program email for questions of our call. If you use the general email, it might take a bit longer for us to get that email and be able to answer. You will always get an answer, but if you use our direct email of our call, of our program, it's faster for us to be able to answer your questions. Okay, just reminding the different roles that we have in the system. As Ines was saying, principal role, project leader, it's the principal investigator of the host organization, and it's in charge of submitting the proposal. And again, remember, the submission is open until November 16th, 2 o'clock CET, and it's automatic closure. That means that at sharp, it starts closing the submission process. Then the PIs, the principal investigators for all research performing organizations, if you have consortiums. For this, you have to be invited by the project leader and accept your participation in the proposal. Civil society organizations, as for example, patient foundations, also have to be invited to the proposal by the project leader and accept their participation for both, as Ines was saying, consortiums or single applications. And then there's the organization manager that represents the tasks of the organization in the system, and you need the validation of the organization manager to be able to submit your proposal assigned with your organization. So before being able to submit, you need to have the okay from the organization manager through the system. You will always find a validation button on the lower part of your screen. Use it because it does exactly the same validations that it will be done when you want to submit, so you can avoid last-minute issues. Please be aware that a submitted proposal cannot be modified, even if the call permission process has not finished. So make sure and check everything before submitting the proposal, please. So invitations process. In case you invite an applicant, a PI or a CSO that's already in the system, please make sure that you're using the email that they are using in the system. You don't need to be pre-registered to be able to invite a PI or a CSO. If they are new in the system, when they accept the first step of the invitation, they will be forward to the registration in the system. But if you invite members that are already in the system, please make sure that you are using the correct email, okay? So you will find, if you have selected a consortium option or single with CSOs, you have the invitation section on the left menu. If you go to the invitation section, you will be able to choose within civil society organization or principal investigator, depending on the type of your project. We recommend you to invite all the members of your proposal at once and at the beginning, because then they will appear on the budget or the Gantt, for example, and you will be able to add them to the project information. If you need to remove any of the members, the pre-approval acceptance from the other members will be reset, okay? For you to, if you have been invited as PI or a CSO, you will need to accept by 2 steps. First of all, you will get an email. In the email, you will find a link. And again, the explanation of both steps. If you click the link, you will be sent to the first step acceptance. You can accept or decline at this point. If you accept and you are a new user, you will be taken to registration. If not, you will be able to access the system. And then under the actions section, you will have the project acceptance form. At that point, you will be able to access the proposal, check that everything that is in the proposal up to that point is okay for you, and you will be able to accept or decline your participation. 2 steps are required for you to be a formal member of the proposal, and a project leader will not be able to submit if both steps are not done, even if it's accepted or declined. If any member declines a participation, or you get a conflict related to an invitation, a project leader must discard also 2 steps, the invitation and the project acceptance form. You will be getting a conflict if you are inviting more than 1 PI or CSO from the same organization. As Ines was saying before, that is not allowed on the rules of participation. So again, only 1 PI per research performing organization Any other members have to be described as team members. In the publication and reference sections, you can add all publications and reference to this application, and process is exactly the same. So talking about publications, in the instructions, you find a step-by-step process description, so you can check that, and it's similar to what I'm going to explain now. But first step, just click the Add Publications button. This will take you to a first menu. In this menu, you can always add manually any publication that you cannot find in the search. We recommend you to go always in the search if possible, but if there's a publication that you cannot find in the search, or maybe it's a preprint at this point, you can add it manually, or a book, or whatever you think it's needed. If not, go to the search tool, and a menu will be opened. You can search the publication within different items, author or keywords, for example. Then a list will appear. You can select the publications that you want to add and click the plus button. At this point, those publications will be shown on a different window, and click the transaction button. Go back to the application and click Save Draft. When you do so, publications that you have included will be shown on the publication list section. At this point, next and last step for this item, go to Edit Publication List button, and then you will access a menu that allows you change the order of this publications list. You can accept and confirm the order that you already established, or move by drag and drop the publications up and down. At any point, you can click Edit List and reorder your publications. You can also delete publications or reference from this list. About the publications, there's an extra step. On the section, My Publications related to the proposal, those publications have to be included, so you can describe the importance of those publications. So go to this section, click the Open button, a table will be opened, and you choose from the DOI drop-down one of the DOIs of the publications that are in the list. So remember, first of all, you have to add the publications from the list, and then you can come and do this section. At this point, the number will be added automatically, and then you have a section to be able to describe the significance or the importance of this publication. Really, really, really important. Any change on step 1 or step 2, so if you delete a publication or you change the order, this will not be refreshed automatically on this table on step 3. So please, if you delete or add any publications or change the order, go back to the My Publication related to the proposals table and refresh the information to make sure that the information is updated. For the Gantt diagram, just go to the proposal task Gantt chart section, press the plus button, and the menu will be open where you can add the information related to that task. First of all, add the work package, the task responsible. Here, if you are a consortium or you have CSO and they have accepted your invitation, that means at least the step 1, their organizations will appear here, so you can add them as responsible of those tasks. Add the description of the task, and then you can just save draft or confirm. To be able to submit the proposal, all your tasks will have to be confirmed. You cannot submit the proposal with a task in draft. If at any point you want to change a proposal that has been already confirmed and that is completed in the section, there's a reopen button, and you can edit any information related to the proposal. When you finish with this and go back to your application, if you press the Save Draft button, the Gantt diagram is shown in the proposal. The Gantt diagram will be automatically organized first by the work package and then by the start date. It is not possible to change the sorting. And again, just remind you some useful information and some useful documents that you have available in our website. Our contact email for anything you need during all the application process or during all the selection process. And there's a really step-by-step tutorial that's really useful for the submission. And thank you very much for your attention. and we can then go to the questions and answers.
Thank you very much for the presentation. And as Carla said, we can start now these questions and answers. So please just raise your hand using the function button in the reaction site on the Zoom application, and then we can see the order of your hands up. So based on that, I can tell that Maria Hernandez has a question now. So please, Maria, go ahead.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. So right. Yeah, I have one question just to make sure I understood well. So from the host organization, and you can just have the PI, the principal investigator. There is no chance to have a second PI or a co-PI. That's right. And also, it's not possible to have in that host organization team members, right?
Exactly. Yes.
So just basically the PI itself, of himself or herself.
Yeah, exactly. So from the host organization, we need a PI, which is the project leader, but the rest of the team members should be from the same organization as the project leader.
So you are allowed to have team members, but not a second PI or a co-PI.
Exactly.
So it's possible to have in that team of the PI possible team members. Any limit in the number of team members, so it can be unlimited?
Not at all. We are not going to request for the names of the team members in a list or whatever at all. The information is requested as a whole. So, for example, what's the importance of the expertise of the project leader for the proposal and their team? So in that section, you could add as many information related to your team as you wish.
Okay, all right. And of course, it can be possible to have team members from your team and also from the other participating members, right? That they are in other organizations.
Yes, but every participating organization has its own section. So the project leader has their own section when you describe yourself and your team, and the PI organization, the consortium organization have their own section where you can explain the PI expertise and their team expertise.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah. See you.
Okay, Maria, thank you very much. So next question, Rebecca Mejias, can you please?
Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Thank you for this information session. It was very helpful. Thank you. I have a couple of questions. First is about the evaluation. So how important is for the global evaluation, how important is the project, the team, the PI, CV, or the publication related to the project? If you can give us a little bit of idea about that.
So in the evaluation, 75% of the score is related to the project and 25% is related to the team. But if you have started the application, you will see that we are not asking for the CV. We do not ask for the track record of any team member, nor the principal investigator, nobody. So what we address in the team part of the evaluation is the suitability of the team to perform the project and to if they are ready to perform the project and if they will be able to do it. But we do not ask for CV, for track record.
So how do you check then the suitability of the team? So do we need like to describe the experience of the
exactly.
Okay.
There are different sections on the project team tab related of the expertise, the importance of the expertise of the project leader and the whole team related to the proposal. That for each member of the consortium, you can add maximum 5 publications related to each of the PLs and PIs on the application that are really important to the proposal. So we really don't want a whole track record. We are not focused on that. We are focused on really good ideas and a good team to perform that good idea. That's the main idea.
Thank you. And the other question is a very basic question, I guess, because you are evaluating in Portugal, well, international application, everything should be in English, even the proposal, I guess. Okay.
Yes.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rebecca. Sorry.
Our reviewers are international, so everything has to be in English, not only because it's in the rules of participation, because all our reviewers are international.
Yeah.
That means outside Spain and Portugal.
Yeah, it makes sense. Thank you.
Thank you. So, Gonzalo, please.
Hi, hello. So my question is actually related also with the number of PIs per RPO, but in the case of double affiliation. So let's say PI number 1 is affiliated to institution A and B, and PI number 2, which would go as another RPO, is associated with B. Can they go together with the first one going with A and second one going with B?
Yes, they can. I mean, it's one RPO, one BAT number. So if you have double affiliation, you can choose with which organization you go.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Roberto, please. Can you tell us your question?
Hi,
Thank you
everyone.
very much.
Thanks a lot for the talk. My question is regarding the contract of the PIs. So I have a temporary contract, and it's not going to last until the end of the project because it's only a 3-year contract. Is it still possible for me to apply?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what it says on the rules of participation is that now you have to be linked to an organization to be able to apply. But even at the point that if you get the grant, you can pay your salary with the grant. So you would be able to extend the contract, or you're linked with the organization through this grant if needed. So yes, not a problem at all.
Thank you. And a very quick question in terms of content, because my research is behavioral, and I saw that there's this clinical, and you're also interested in clinical projects, but psychological research is always in between fields. So I saw that there's neuroscience and that there's clinical projects. Maybe I should ask before whether it's within scope, or shall I just assume that it is?
Yeah.
Yeah,
yes,
what?
based on the rules for participation,
Okay.
you can decide if you go ahead or not. But thematic areas are quite open. So
Perfect. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Robert. So please, Hugo Gutierrez, can you expose your question?
Thank you very much. My question was, if the PI or the project leader has to be based in Spain, it can be PIs from different institutions. Is there a rules as to how the budget has to be divided? Because apparently a few years ago it was maximum of 200,000 euros for anyone not sitting in Spain. Is that still applying, or?
the limitation is that no more than 30% of the total budget can go outside Spain or Portugal. This is the limitation.
Okay, because I thought that limitation was when it came to companies, not when it came to...
No, when it comes to project to partners.
30% outside Spain, that's the maximum. Okay, and the
Spain and Portugal, right.
And related question, what if during the course of the project, one team that is related to the one of the double affiliation, right? One team that is based somewhere outside Spain, let's say, moves to another university, an institution, or to Spain. Is that possible to move the budget? How flexible is this?
We are flexible, but you will always have to follow the rules of participation. So, for example, if you have a consortium that's basically based within Spain and Portugal, there's no limitation on the budget. You don't have the 30% limitation.
Yep.
But if a partner needs or moves to another organization, first, that's a change request that you will be requested to ask, and we will have an internal committee that validates that and accepts or declines. But if it's accepted, the main thing here is that if you're moving outside Spain and Portugal, the budget that you will be allowed to move has to be always under 30%.
No.
So,
in this case, it would be the contrary. If one partner is moving from outside Spain to Spain,
then there's no problem with the budget.
As it can be moved, and no matter if it's the same institution that of one of the other PIs or the project leader, doesn't matter. Okay. Yeah.
Well, then the problem on that, or what you just said, is that then they will not be able to be different partners. So again, as you can only have one PI per organization,
Yes.
if a partner is moving to an organization that's already in the consortium, it's not going to be a different partner anymore. It's going to be part of the team of that consortium. But again, if you get to that point, the main thing here is that we try to be really, really flexible with selected proposals, obviously serious, but flexible. But again, at any point of the project, the rules of participation have to be complied. And any change has not to be a really structural change that could, for example, affect the evaluation that you got on the process. So everything or any change that you request should make the project better and not worse. So that's the things that we analyze when at any point of the follow-up of the process, you request any kind of change that you need. We are flexible. We are always open to listen to any need related to the project, and then we will analyze together what's the best option.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, Marina, you're so welcome to make your question.
Okay. Good morning. I have two questions. One is that if we have a partner that is a clinician that he's not going to perform research, but he's going to do a kind of preclinical plan as well as advice and dissemination activities, should we consider them as research performing organization, or is better to include them as CCO?
It will depend on the institution they belong to, right, Carla?
They belong to an hospital, but he presents to CaixaResearch projects as foundation.
When we thought about the CSO as a profile in the applications, we thought about patients associations that are willing to participate in the proposals. It is true that with some specific participation in project like hospital just willing to share samples with the project sometimes have been included as CSOs because their participation is not even really active in the project. But again, if you start the application and you see the different sections that you have to describe a participation as a partner or a participation as CSO, it's also part of your strategy. So the main rule here is that CSO, it's a non-research performing organization, okay? So an organization that does not have research as activity and that are not going to do activity on your project, okay? After that, as a CSO, part of the project, you will have a box to describe their participation. As a partner, you have, I would say, wider section to describe more their participation and in a research point of view, on an expertise point of view. So at that point, it's more on your side to decide how the importance of that participation is on the application. So I will never have a doubt about a patient association. That's for sure a CSO. I've seen in different projects that some hospitals their activity is really low or only, for example, sharing samples, they apply that as CSO.
Okay, but if they have a task like this preclinical plan, they can be included as research performing activities, even they do not do research.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because I guess that the hospital have research activities in their plan.
Yeah.
So yes. And
okay,
if they
perfect.
are even doing some tasks on the Gantt chart, that would even be more important, or getting budget. That's another limitation, because a partner gets budget. Budget, it's mandatory.
Okay, perfect. But the CCOs also can get budget as well.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Then it's more up to you, but I think it's
great. Thank you. I have another small question. If there's an institution that has two different groups, because it's a big university, for example, then of course there's only one PI, but in the publications list can be included publications where the PI is not author, for example, from the second group, or only...
Yes, because yeah, sure, because they will be described on the section of the PL and team or PI and team. So you can consider any publication that's from the group of the proposal.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So next is Isabel Martinez Garay, please.
Hi, good morning, and thank you for this informative session. I have a question. So I would have an international partner. So obviously this 30% limitation on the budget applies, but I was wondering, in terms of personnel that is hired with the grant money, can someone be hired in Spain and then sent to work there so that there is a bit more flexibility with the budget? Because we've been doing a provisional costing, and with the cost of a postdoc plus animals plus consumables, this 30% would probably not be enough, but mostly because of the cost of hiring a postdoc.
We could analyze that specifically, but if you contract that person from, for example, the Spanish institution, it will be linked to this institution, and it could work from either institution part in the project because they can do a stay there or whatever it's needed. But it has to make sense in the whole, I would say, idea of the project. So I would say it's not a main rule that you can contract here and then send them work outside, but it's normal that even if you're sharing a project, that you can contract someone here and it's spending a couple of months or have a year or whatever on any of your partner organizations.
Okay, because this is a true collaboration where kind of each lab does half of the work. Mm-hmm. So, and that's why there is a requirement for someone to work over there, but then the budget escalates. And even though probably the total budget would not reach 1 million, we would have to apply for that just to have 30% to pay for everything there. And then it doesn't really make a lot of sense.
But it has to make sense that it's contract from here. I guess that's the point.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So Rita, can you make your question, please? Thank you.
So thank you so much, Inés and Carla, for the information. So I have just a few questions and pretty simple, I believe. So the first one is if you could explain a bit the difference between projects that are submitted to the translational section from a project to be submitted to the clinical section. So is, for instance, clinical projects just involving clinical studies, clinical trials, and excluding, for instance, in vivo and in vitro use of cell lines, or is just about the main objective and the main question?
Okay, so I mean, this is written in the rules for participation, and I'd recommend you to go there and check the definition of clinical, translational, and basic research, and check in which your proposal fits better. And if you have any question after that, you can always write an email and share the particular thing of your proposal. But it's better if you yourself check this information and take the decision.
Okay.
Just let me add there that consider that it's mainly used for the matching with reviewers. So we don't have quotes related to clinical, basic, and translational. That helps as it is described on the online system. That really helps when the matching with reviewers to be able to get, if it's needed to your project, a reviewer that has a more clinical point of view or translational or basic point of view. So at the end, as for example, the thematic area, it's really at the end, not only helping on the reviewers, but deciding the panel you're going to be evaluated at.
Okay, it's more about that.
Yes, it's more about that.
And it's an information that we do not consider for eligibility purposes or something like that.
Okay. And about the single type of submission and versus consortium, there is any type of advantage or disadvantages going from one to the other in terms of?
No, not at all.
None at all. Okay. So it's just that. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much. So next is Laura Ludovica. Thank you very much for sharing your question here.
Hi, good morning, everyone, and thank you for all your explanation. I only want to maybe repeat something, but I want to be sure. If we have a team member which is a 100% employee of the host organization, he has a 50% jornada working hours at the university, for example, she can be PI of the university as another part of the consortium? Meaning she has a 50% hours contract with another foundation, in this case, university. Can't be the PI of the university?
If it's linked to that organization, they are allowed.
Okay.
Just you have to understand that when they accept the participation of the project, they say that they accept that with their organization knowing that. So in behalf of the organization, because the organization is going to be part of the consortium when
Yes.
reaching the selection process. So again, the main idea of limiting the one PI for RPO, it's so the consortium are not really endogamic, so they're open to other organizations. So that's the point, and that's why we want to have members of the consortium from different organizations.
Okay, so this 50% hour will not be a problem. Okay,
No.
and okay, another question. We are presenting a highly translational project, meaning competence from nanotechnology, animals, patient. Our project leader has a super high important career but it can't have been in publication of this field because we are unifying different technologies. So some data from nano, some data from patient, some data from... So I can't find 5 publications on this topic in which the project leader is in all of these publications.
You cannot find them neither in PubMed, Web of Science, or Scopus?
No, I know that. No, I cannot. They are not, because I know my team, no?
Okay.
I know my team. And our project leader, which is my boss, obviously has not been involved in previous experiment in vitro, because we are dealing with patients and whatever. So my question is, if it is a super good project leader with a super good career, what happens if I put publication over there when the project leader is not there? Will they not be considered, or can I explain that to the reviewer?
Is someone from the team on those publications? I mean,
yes,
the main thing. So the limitation on the publication section is that we are not interested in a whole track record. We want to have the information related to the publications that are really, really interesting on the application. So usually those publications are related to the project leader or their team, or the PI or their team.
Okay, so it can be, so the project leader will be in one of 2 of these publications, but I can have publication with the other PIs of the team.
Yes.
Okay, that was my question, and important. Okay. So that was my most important question. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great, thank you, Laura. So next is Rui Costa. Rui, please.
Good morning. Thank you for the information session. I have a very technical question, very simple, I think. So when we open the application, we are in the pre-draft status. And in that phase, we need to put the title, the lay abstract, the lay summary, the abstract. Can this be modified afterwards when we are in the section of the budget and the rest of the application?
Yes, the only sections that will get blocked when you move to the draft section is the proposal description and the classification on the application section. That means if you have selected a consortium or single, basic clinic translational, thematic area, or with or without CSOs. And that's for a legal purpose. When the partners accept their participation or not on the proposal, legally, they have to be able to do that on something that's fixed, that's stable. So you will always be able to modify any other section. And even with these sections, you are able to modify them. But there's on the left corner, lower corner of the application, there's a button that's called Modify Proposal Information. If you click that button, you go back to the pre-draft status and you will be able to modify any field. But if you do that, and you have partners that have already accepted their participation, when you move forward, those acceptance will be restarted, and they will need to accept again the second step of the participation, and also the budget will be cleared, and you will need to add the budget again. And that happens because at that point, for example, you could decide to move from a consortium to single, and we need to clear the budget, because if you have information there could be problems with the validations because the budget is lower or whatever. So those are the different things that happens if you want to go back and modify those block fields, and those block fields are only description and this section of the application.
Okay. Thank you so much. I have no more questions.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So next question comes from Luca Mihik. Thank you, Luca.
Hello, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Yes, I have 2 questions. Thank you very much for your presentation. The first one is that does a cooperative group count as a consortium of investigation or an individual organization in terms of the financing? So it's a cooperative group of many specialists, medical oncologists around the country. And so we have the doubt that would it count as an individual organization, or is it a consortium?
Are they part of different organizations, research performing organizations? Depends on how you present the proposal. If
okay,
if for example, if
it's many specialists investigating on the same topic, but from different hospitals, different centers.
You can do a consortium with that if they are linked to different organizations.
Exactly.
Okay, okay. And the other question is, I think someone asked it in the chat, but just to confirm, if the grant by the Foundation La Caixa is insufficient to complete the research project, would it be acceptable to as well receive other funds from other organizations?
We don't have a problem with that, unless that the activities described in the project have to be granted by La Caixa, and any other activity outside the project could be shared with any other budget.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Luca. So Jorge Sastre, please, your questions.
Good morning. Thank you for your presentation. The case is similar here. We want to present a project from a university with several doctors, neurologists from several hospitals, but one from one hospital, another one from another one hospital, and so on. Then it should be a consortium, and then these individual neurologists should be PAs.
Yes. Yes. So if these neurologists belong to different organizations, they should work as PI of their respective organizations.
Okay. Okay, and we will have CSOs where we will do the tests. That's well, yes, for doing the test. Well, there will be some well, therapists and so on, but that's not important. I mean, they will not be for researching or.
Then you can add them as CSOs. If they are not performing research activities, they can be CSOs.
But well, maybe the psychologists or therapists could come out in the publications. That would be a problem. I mean, the people from the CSOs, the patients are from there, but there will be also therapists and gerontologists and so on, and then they may write articles with us. That's a problem.
No.
Okay.
It should not be a problem. I'm not sure if I understand the question. It should not be a problem, but you don't have a specific section for CSOs to add publications. If they are part of a publications that you do yourself or within someone in the team, that's not a problem at all.
Since you said that they should not do research, then that was my question.
on the project. They don't do research on this project. They don't perform research activities on the project. Again, we thought about the CSOs as to be patient associations, yes. But in some projects, some hospitals have been included because they just have, I would say, low profile activities or not research activities because they are just sharing samples or so on. If their participation in the project is core and is related, is research or related to research, maybe you should consider what's the focus. But if not, the role of CSOs, it's open to that.
It's to make tests, to do tests there with the patients. Okay, thank you very much. Bye bye.
Thank you very much. Please, Jose Maria Gonzalez, can you make your question? Thank you.
Hi, good morning. Thank you very much for all the information. I have a very practical question. Okay, I cannot show my, I don't know why the webcam is not working. So I have a very practical question. Do you have any information based on previous years of how many projects are you going to fund and how many applications are you expecting? Or in other words, what is more or less the success rate of the projects?
Low.
Yeah. No, well, you have this information on the website. There's a tab called results of previous years or something like that, and you can check this information for each year from the first one to the last one. So, but yeah, the last year's success rate was 6%, more or less. So you have this, but you have all this information on the website if you want to check it on detail.
Okay, and I apologize if you commented on this before because I joined a little bit late, but I guess it's okay to include organizations from US and Asian countries like Japan.
Yeah, there's no problem. The only limitation is 30% of the budget can go out of Spain and Portugal, but if you fit with that, organizations can be from all around the world.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So next question is from someone that the last name is Maestu, but I'm sorry, I cannot tell your name. So please, can you just go ahead and make your question?
Okay, thank you very much. I cannot share my video for some reason. So
no problem.
My question is regarding the selection criteria that you, if I understood correctly, you are using an artificial intelligence method. So typically, researchers, we are very used to write proposals to humans and not to artificial intelligence systems. So can you give us a hint regarding what will be the criteria or how this artificial intelligence has been trained to avoid some keywords or paragraphs or something that could be detected by the artificial intelligence and recruit us to go.
No problem at all. Yes. So this algorithm has been trained with the data of the previous years and previous editions and the scores of previous years and previous editions. So it has been trained with the same type of proposals. And it just looks for correlations to be able to calculate that probability of being or not being selected. So it's only taking text from your applications. So state-of-the-art methodology, scientific approach, never anything related to the project team or any personal data or the name of the organization at all. So it's taking scientific text. It's been taught and it's retrained every year with the new data from previous editions. And it's always over the information of the application submitted.
So, but it's just trained with previous applications to La Caixa from other data. Okay.
For this call.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So next is Matilde Jonart. So please, Matilde, you can make your question.
sorry, just let me remind one thing that I forgot to say, but it's really important. If it's flagged by the algorithm, is sent to human beings that they have to confirm the rejection, final rejection or not of the proposal. So again, it's only an assisted process. The decision is not made by the algorithm. The algorithm highlights some proposals with low probability of being selected, but then they're sent to human beings that they just say, okay, I confirm the rejection or not. I think this proposal is something out the box and it's been a false positive or whatever. And then that proposal goes to the evaluation process.
Yeah, because
okay, just wanted to say that.
It's important to know that the artificial intelligence tool is only used for the eligibility content process, but then we have the remote evaluation, which is carried out by experts, but by human experts, and then the selection committees, which are these face-to-face interviews.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank
Sorry,
you.
Matilde.
Highlighting that important point. So Matilde, please go. Now it's your turn.
So I'm sorry I cannot switch on the video camera because I think it has been switched off. I want to thank you for this presentation. I have two questions. The first one is that it's possible to be a project leader, a coordinator of a big proposal, and also PI of another proposal.
Yes, there's no problem at all.
Okay. And the second question is that we are doing a drug discovery project. So we are in this period of transition between the research, still premature, before going in the future, hopefully, to the industry. So we are in the transition between the research and another call, like La Caixa Impulse or something like that. This project will fit in any of these two categories because it's just in the middle, let's say.
This is something that you should decide on yourself by reading the rules for participation, and we cannot say that much about this.
Okay.
It's not incompatible to apply to both applications, but the activity should be different. I mean,
yeah.
If there's still research to be done,
yeah, of course,
the health research call might be an option. If you are really close to move forward already, the new innovation program has 3 stages. Stage 1 is for more immature projects. Stage 2 is more close to, I would say, be able to do a valorization plan, and stage 3 is really mature processes. So I would say that I would get the descriptions of both projects and try to decide where your project fits the most. But again, it's not compatible to be in both programs, but the activities have to be specific.
Okay. Thank you very much. Cheers.
Thank you very much. And then, hello, Joana Marquez. How are you? Thanks a lot for your questions.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for the presentation. I was not able to be in the beginning, so I'm not sure if you mentioned this specific question that I'm going to make is relating to the preliminary results. So is it obligatory to have preliminary results specific from our team, or can we use results that were published by other teams? I mean, we have a track record related to the project, but we don't have specific results preliminary for this project. So I'm a bit undecided of whether I should go this year because of the classification. If we have below 5.5, we cannot apply next year, right?
Yeah.
Or if we should try to collect preliminary results. So how important are the preliminary results in the evaluation of the project? Thank you.
Inés, I'm not sure if you want to go or...
No, I mean, you should write something on the preliminary results box. I mean, it is a mandatory box to fill in. And usually this box is used to add preliminary results from the group, but if you don't have them, you can use whatever information you have published, or you can use references also in this section. So you should fill it, but you can fill it with your own results. or with other information you consider important as preliminary results for your research?
I would say you got to convince the reviewers on that. So if you are able within own results or another results to make a solid project and convince them that's a solid project and that you're going to be able to perform the project, there's not a limitation on that. I mean, we are not requesting something specific on that, but it's usually understood as part of a solid project. So you will need to convince the reviewers on that. So we cannot, I would say we cannot advance what's going to happen on that.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you very much. Carla and Ines, we have actually a question related to that proposals that are discarded by the algorithm or the reviewers. Are these proposals going to get a report?
They're going to get an email with information that have been discarded by the proposal. They don't officially get, I would say, what you understand by a scientific report, because it's not done a whole evaluation of the project as we understand an evaluation with scores and all that. We have some information related within the algorithm and the reviewers that we can share with you if you need, but there's not an I would say built report, because there's not a whole evaluation behind it. So everyone will get a communication reminding the process and reminding what happened and notifying what's been the resolution of the project. That's for sure.
Right. Thank you very much. So Alberto Jardón, now, it's your turn. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for your explanation. I have a question related to the process of selecting the reviewers, because you have commented in very quickly in the first part of your presentation that the keywords are the most important thing in order to select the key reviewers. And I have a question because you have mentioned like main keywords and other important keywords that I understand that allow you to get a more specific idea of what your research proposal going to be. But my question is, also you mentioned in the application the ERC panel structure that actually you have to link the panel structure of the ERC, and there are big difference between both classification of reviewers. So I think that we must focus on try to select the main keywords and avoid the other information.
The ERC classification, it's only an internal classification. It's only for internal purpose. So for the matching with the reviewers, we only use the keywords that you choose and the basic clinical translational classification of the proposal that has a small weight also on the relation with the reviewers. But it's keywords. It has nothing to do with the ERC classification that we requested. It's more for internal purpose.
Mm-hmm. And then maybe if we have some doubts about which are the best keywords at the final proposal, maybe we can make before submit the proposal, make an inquiry, personalized inquiry for your team.
Yeah, you can contact us through the email, and if you have doubt related to the keywords or whatever, we can try to share with you again the idea behind the keywords. Sure.
Okay, thank you very much. Thanks for all explanation.
Thank you, Alberto. So, and now is the turn of Pablo Huertas. Thank you, Pablo.
Hi, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the presentation. Very clear. We are learning a lot. I have two very practical and specific questions. One is about a mixed research center. So I'm in a center, I'm a university, but my neighbor next door is CSIC, and the neighbor next door is from a foundation. I guess if I put people from this other institution, even if they are in my research center, it should be a consortium, right? Because although we are all in the same building, working.
If they are linked to the proposal as CSIC, so you with your organization and the guy next to you with CSIC and the other person with a third organization, that's a consortium.
Yeah, okay.
So they are not going to be able to be part of the consortium if the 3 of them are linked in the system with your organization. That's part of your team, and you can only choose one PI.
Okay, thank you. And the other one is about preprints. You mentioned that we can include preprints in the reference and the literature. How do you do that? Because there are a few questions that you cannot fill in the date of publication because it's not published, or the journal. We just put the journal preprint.
Add a dot. I mean, you only have 5 spaces for publication, so usually you've got more to add. So make sure that you're getting into the application the ones that are most important with the proposal. That's the main thing. So if you want to add any other publication that has to be added manually, some of the fields are mandatory. If not, add a dot, or if it requires a date, just add, I don't know, first day of the year. And just to specify that's a preprint or whatever. So it's try to make clear the information for the reviewers. It's not that usual that you get into the system preprints, because you normally have more publications than the ones that we allowed. But if some publication that's not ready printed, it's really important, find a way to do it, really.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you very much. So next question is from Kepa Paz Alonso. Please, Kepa.
Hello, good afternoon. Thank you very much for all the information you are providing us with, Carla, Monica, and Ines. I have a very quick and practical question. I was wondering to what extent there is an a priori assignment of the projects that will be funded for one organization or multiple organizations, because there is a money decision behind it. So I was wondering if there is an a priori about this. Or it's only based on the interest, or I don't know, also you have data of previous up calls, like how many of them were funded for one organization or multiple organizations?
The selection is based exclusively on the scores of the evaluators and the ranking after the selection committee's interviews. There is no predefined budget for consortium or individual projects.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
You have all the statistics data on the website from previous years. More or less 60% is submitted is consortium, 40% are single, and that is more or less kept later on, but it's based mainly on the application. But you've got all that statistics on the website if you want to check for the previous years, as Ines was saying before.
We'll check.
But not quotes at all.
Okay, cool.
Thank you, Kepa. So next question from Fosca.
Yes. Hi, hello, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I have a follow-up question for the contract. This should be linked to the host organization that was asked before. What happens if the project leader will retire just a few months before, before the end of the projects? And also, like, accordingly to the rule of participation, the project leader apparently not should be linked constantly until the end of the project with the host organization somehow, not necessarily through a contract. So if you can, I don't know if you can give us some information about this, and it's a specific case considering that the project leader will retire. So I don't know if you had this before.
Yes, we had similar cases, different cases. We had, I would say, a fully completed retirement, and someone from the team got the lead of the project, but it was not a project leader, it was a PI. So it got the lead of that partnership of the consortium. And mainly we had that situations more in PIs, not in project leaders. But if there's an agreement with the organization to be able to perform until the end of the project, that will be okay with us. I don't know if I'm answering your question.
Yeah,
I mean, it has to be linked somehow, not necessarily contractually. It's really open, that part of the rules of participation, and maybe we can better ask our legal team with a specific reference in your case. But the main idea here is if it's the project leader or any partner, because we also had the case of someone retiring, but getting an agreement with the organization to perform until the end of the process, although it had reached 65.
Okay.
So it depends on the options that you have and that you agree with your organization and that you are willing to do. As I was saying before, someone got 65 and retired completely. So it
And what
a little bit
about
depends on.
sorry, what about your remuneration? So the agreement that we have with so between the project leader and the host organization should just say that the person can finish let's say the project, but not necessarily we need to agree on a remuneration, right? Because this can count from the project
That's
itself.
on you.
Okay, so
that's on the organization. I mean, if you are paying the salary of the project leader from the project, I mean.
Okay, but we don't have to. It doesn't have to.
No, you don't have to.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Then, hola, Mary J. Fernandez. Your questions, please. Pardona, we cannot hear you. Oh, we have lost Mary J. So, oh yeah.
She's here, but I think the microphone
we cannot
is not
hear you.
working. Can you check if it's on the settings, it's properly set?
Because no, you are mute. You are mute.
No, now she's not mute and it's not working. So it's on the settings.
No. Okay.
Maybe we can come back to you in a second.
Yeah. Let's move to Pilar Sanchez. Pilar, can you make the question?
We don't hear you, Pilar. You're muted.
No. Okay. Let's move on. Irene Gañán, can you try?
Hi.
Great.
Can you hear me?
Thank you very much. Pilar,
Okay.
sorry, can you just wait for...
So I may have, I may have missed this already. I just have a question regarding individual applications where all the team members are in the same institution, same group. If the PI or the project leader, in this case, is not the most senior member of the team, would that penalize, or would the experience of others more senior team members count as, as a whole in the team? So would it lower the score or not?
No, not at all. I mean, the call is open for junior researchers, but also for senior ones. And well, you can check on the website who won last year's, for instance, to see that junior researchers are awarded. So there's no any penalization on that.
Okay.
It's important to have a balanced team, and we like you to have a chance.
Okay, but then can we put other more senior team members and then sort of use their expertise to...
Sure. Yeah. They are part of the team.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Irene. So Pilar Sanchez, please, can you try now your question? Pilar?
Oh, no, she's not muted, but we don't hear you.
No.
Okay. So Ana Sofia, let's start with you.
Hi, hello.
Hello, Ana.
Can a project leader with a winning proposal on last year's call be part of a team of a new application?
Yeah.
He cannot be project leader during 3 years, right? But he can be part of a team of a new proposal.
Exactly, or he can act as a principal investigator of the organization. But the only limitation is he cannot be a project leader.
Okay, thank you. Just to confirm, thank you.
Thank you very much. Then Ana Rousseau.
Hi, good morning.
Hello.
I have a couple of questions, curiosity about this artificial intelligence software that you're using. I would like to know if this is the first time you use it in this type of grants, if it will be used also to identify excellent proposals.
That's a good question.
Sorry?
That's a good question.
And also, if you can tell us a bit on how it works. It's based on keywords. It's only something to screen for bad English language presentation, or a bit more to give us some clues? Thank you.
Yes, sure. So for the first question, it's the second year we are applying this for real. So part of the eligibility process, but we did the previous pilot and we've been doing analysis on this for even more than 2 years. So first we did an analysis that it took a year and a half, more or less. We took a year to do a pilot, and this is going to be the second edition that we are applying this for real. So it was already applied last edition. It's not used right now to select at all, I would say, good proposals. It's only used to detect proposals with low probability of being funded. Although, as you can imagine, in all the analyses and previous process that we've done, you test always a lot of different stuff. But the only purpose of using this algorithm right now is being able to detect those proposals that have a really low probability of being selected. And our experience says from all the previous editions that we've got around a 30-something% of proposals that later on are scored under a 5.5. So that's quite a lot of proposals. And this algorithm has a purpose to avoid that and detect those proposals with really low probability. And it's been taught with previous data, scientific data, not personal data, not organizations' names, not information related to CVs or at all, or even the information related to the project team tab. It's scientific. It's based on 7 boxes of information, state-of-the-art scientific approach, methodology. It's everything related to the science of your proposal, and nothing related to CVs or applications. And it's always the proposals presented on this call. So it's not looking on good or bad English. It's been taught with the English of the proposals of Spanish and Portuguese people. So it's not been taught with, I would say, British English at all, or have that on basis. Not at all. It's been taught with applications for this call from previous editions, and it's retaught and retrained every year. So I would say that it's trained and validated and tested with applications that are really similar to yours, and the basis is that.
Okay, thank you. Interesting.
Thank you very much, Ana. So, Pilar, can you try to make your question? Pilar Sanchez? I'm sorry, Pilar, we cannot hear you today. Yeah?
Maybe you can write it in the chat, so at least it's answered. Yeah. And also,
or yes, or just send your questions to our mail, and yeah, we will answer any question. Oh, yeah,
Pilar is here now.
See you now.
Great. So thank you, Pilar. Go ahead.
We don't hear you. We see you now, but we don't hear you. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Sorry. Okay, then Borja Fernandez, please, your question. Thank you.
Yes, hello. Thank you for all this information. Just a couple of questions. I was planning a project which is based on the ongoing activity of an external center, which is not going to participate in the project because it's funded independently. And so my question is, as the results of these preliminary studies from this other center, so our project is dependent on these activities, how can we or should we upload some kind of agreement or letter of compromise from this center saying that they are going to provide this data for us in the project, or there is any tool in the application to do that? Or should they directly be involved as an external center in this in the project?
Are they a research performing organization? Are they a company? Yes. What are they?
It's a sequencing center.
Oh, okay.
And then they will make some sequences for us, and we will get this data to develop the project. And so I guess that for you to evaluate, you should be sure that these guys will do this job. And then my question is, how can I supply you with a responsibility letter or something from this center saying that they are going to do that?
That's not expected. There's a section where you can add figures and tables, and that's a document of maximum I think it's 3 pages, but it's not really the purpose of that. So you should decide the role that you want to give them in the project, because if really all the project is based on their data, maybe they should be part of the project as partners. But that's really on your side. That decision is really on you, depending on the role that you want to give them on the project, and the part that they take from the project.
So okay, I then
if not, you can always subcontract them, depending on their relation with you.
Yeah, well, they will have the money already to do the stuff. So yeah, I could include them. So can we? Then the question is, can we include a center which is going not to have any role in the project because they are supposed to have done it before?
And to have done it before.
Okay, no, that's not the idea. They should have activities during the project if they are partners at that point. So I'm not sure if I am really understanding that situation. Maybe it's better if you can write us an email with a little bit more details so we can consider that with you. But again, it's really more on the idea of how the project is going to work and the role they're going to have, or if it's something that has to happen really before that, I guess, or I hope that you get the data before that. Before you start.
We will have them. That's why we want. This is one of the most important center sequencing. So the point is that they are doing that job for us, but I cannot say as preliminary. I have not the data yet, so I cannot say we have this data and based on this we are going to do this, because this data we will obtain in the near future.
Maybe you can explain that on the preliminary data.
I write you the question in your, and then just another simple question. So the articles that I find you have to include in the proposals, which are, what should they reflect? The activities of the PIs and so on the particular topic, or general quality of the PIs and stuff?
No, they should be related to the proposal you are presenting in this edition.
Okay, so you are judging the quality regarding the particular topic, not the quality, the general quality of the participants.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're considering the capacity of the team to perform the proposal.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Borja. So next is Gustavo Egea. Hello, Gustavo. Your questions are very welcome.
Thank you very much for the presentation. Very simple question. In the case to be granted, is the budget proposed respected or could be reduced?
Reduced?
No, just this is very typical in Spanish grants, you know, that you propose
I mean, you mean from our side.
Reduced. So
no, if you are granted, you get the amount asked in the.
Is respected.
Exactly.
Yes. Okay, thank you. That's all. Thank you very
much. It's part of the evaluation, but you get the money you requested.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Gustavo. Okay, next another Gustavo. Gustavo Pato or Patov. I'm sorry.
Don't worry.
Go ahead.
My question is quite simple, and I think I already got the answer, but I want to be 100% sure. So sorry if I make a redundant question. Can a professor from a university be a team member of the project whose IP is from a different university?
No.
No, this cannot.
In order to be both in the project, they should be PIs of their respective teams.
Exactly.
Or an external consultant, depending on the role that you have.
The idea is that this person should do research, should be in the trenches working with in the project. Okay. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay, next question comes from you, that is your last name, Trigueros.
Trigueros, yes, Laura Trigueros.
Laura,
thank you very much.
Welcome, Laura.
Okay, I have a very brief question. So in case of the creation of patents, like a patent, yes, as a result of the research after being granted, would the intellectual property of the research belong to La Caixa or
No.
to the research group? Okay.
It's yours.
It's mine. Let's see. Thank you very much. Okay, that was all.
And we will be happy if you get to do a patent, and we'll try to help in that process through different programs that we have internally to help you in that process if needed and if that gets to happen.
Okay, nice. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So now will be the turn of Jesus Palomero. Jesus?
Hello. Firstly, thank you very much for the presentation and the information. I have a simple question, maybe I missed at the beginning. Is how many projects are possible by each university or each host center? Is just one?
No.
Or...
There is no limitation in the number of projects presented by an organization.
Okay. Because I was thinking maybe in a university or a research center, there are two groups, one working in neuroscience and another one working in cardiology or whatever. And I guess both of them could apply for the grant.
Yeah, there is no problem at all.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jesus.
Thank you.
So it looks like it's closing the session. Itziar Peñafiel. So Itziar, yes.
Well, I join the rest of colleagues to thank you because it has been extremely useful. So congratulations. I have a question about the thematic areas. So there are 4 or 5. So because I have not cleared if the
We are losing you. We cannot hear you. Or
now maybe better. Or
yeah, now it looks better. Yeah.
Maybe if you turn off the camera, it will work better.
Okay. I will switch it off just to be so sorry. So my question is if we are applying, so there is neuroscience, oncology, infectious diseases, and cardiovascular and other metabolic diseases, and enabling technologies is a 5th thematic areas, or there are 4 and okay. So we have to choose this is related with what you said about choosing the correct keywords or not?
In the case of enabling technologies thematic area, this area is focused on the development of new technologies and techniques. So if you are using an already developed technology, you should address one of the other 4 thematic areas. If you are developing a new technology, then you could apply to enabling technologies. But your research should be related to one of the other 4 too. So. But this is important that it should be a new technology, not an already existing technology applied to a new problem.
Okay, I understand. Thanks. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. So another question from Joaquin Sol. I was telling that maybe her microphone was not working properly, but let's try, Joaquin, if you can. Okay, I'll try to expose you girls the question. What's related to the artificial intelligence? So they have a proposal that was submitted in previous editions, and they were not reaching this 5.5 score. So they are asking if they are presenting again the same proposal. Of course, the proposal will be improved, but some of the sections will be the same. There is a risk there that the algorithm is detecting again the same proposal that was already discarded in previous editions as a bad or not good enough project.
No,
difficult to say.
The algorithms get the whole information from the whole proposals and find correlations with your scores. If you are improving the proposals, and that's the goal, it has not predefined or it's not saving the memory of that proposal got a low score at that point. It's the algorithm is just trained with the information to be able to detect that correlations. So it does not remember, or it does not have saved the exact text of your proposal at that point. It's been taught with correlations within information and scores. So I wouldn't say that it's now gonna say, oh, that's related to that proposal that had a bad score, I'm gonna flag it. No, that should not happen. It does not work like that.
And actually, the algorithm will be applied to all the projects together, not
Exactly.
one by one. So all the projects that are going to be submit this edition are not going to be the same than the ones that they were submitting the proposal in the previous edition. So that's not.
So the probability, this is really important. Thank you, Monica, because what she's saying is that the probability, it's not calculated one by one. It's a whole. It's part of a whole on the process.
Okay. And finally, just to clarify to Ana Cristina Carvalho, a project leader or a researcher in an institution that is applying as a project leader is able to apply in the same institution as a principal investigator, right?
Another project.
Yeah, in the same institution. So can be project leader in one proposal and PI in any other proposal in the same institution. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I think we are mostly done with the questions. Another question. Okay, Jose.
Question.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Good morning. I have a question concerning the person in charge of Civil Service Association, the CSO, that he completed the step 1 for the invitation, but he told me that he cannot complete the step 2. So I don't know if he has a problem with the link or had not received the initial email properly or that. Or how can it work?
No. If he or she was able to do step 1, that means that she or he got the email and clicked the link, and the first pop-up window was shown, and they could accept that. If they're new in the platform, they should have been taken to a register. If they already registered, what they have to do is get into the platform.
Registered from the past year. It's the same email and everything.
So then they should go to the section that's called Actions, and under Actions, they should have a form related to your proposal, and they have to go there and accept their participation. If not, just write us an email with the application reference and the name of the CSO that's having that problems, and we'll check that specifically on the platform so we can help you. But it should be the acceptance form. It should be under the section Actions on their homepage.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. So now I think we are done with this informative session. So thank you, Carla, and thank you, Ines, and thank you everybody for all the questions. That is helping us to clarify all these doubts that people used to have. And very good luck to everybody with your proposals.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.